What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Smitty on the weekends. As always, the Man Review.
It's your co-host Johnny Kappa. Peace, peace.
Today's topic is going to be about emotional intelligence. So, with emotional intelligence, it basically means about talking about your feelings. I know I touched on this topic before, and I know I said it in a lot of our other podcasts, but we're going to go in depth on what emotional intelligence is. So, emotional intelligence is how to basically portray your emotions and how to talk about your feelings. And with that, it's hard in a lot of ways because a lot of ways the only time you do talk about it is when you're drunk around your friends. We were never raised to know what emotions are and how to talk about them and how to relay what we're actually feeling. We just mostly go through life again, slapping a D on our chest, and a man's supposed to be a man, deal with it, and that's just what it is, and eliminate the actual feeling behind what we're going through. So it's a broad topic. We're going to talk about it because it's going to hit a lot of personal views, but it's also going to talk about how you actually really feel and why you're going through a lot of things that you're going through now. That's my opinion and topic based today. More of the topic, not an opinion, because I'm going to get into a lot of opinion based shit on it.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Emotional intelligence to me, honestly, that's like my core intelligence. Honestly, I feel things more than I think things. You know what I mean? So like less like rational and more a lot of my decisions are based on emotion. So that's like so I use a lot of emotional intelligence throughout the day. You know what I mean? Trying to read people and stuff like that. Like I just feel like I'm pretty good with people and reading their emotions and stuff like that. Like they're and instead
Absolutely.
of like coming like with an exact formula and like trying to calculate things, I go more off of feeling than I do like rational thinking. Just more how I feel. That's how I make like a lot of my decisions.
So you're talking about decision based wise.
Yeah, or just like my overall intelligence, I base more on feelings than I do of like rational feel of like rational like outcomes. More like, all right, is this the best move for me to make financially, da 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 da, or is this something that I feel deep inside that I need to, you know what I mean? Regardless of like the physical or like financial or whatever like thing repercussions that it may cause, if I feel it here, I'm probably gonna go with it before I can rationalize it here and go. You know what I mean? Like my emotional intelligence comes before my rational thinking
All
a
right,
lot of the time.
and knowing that, have you ever made the wrong decision, or was it mostly the best decision that you thought you were going to make?
Oh no,
Because when I hear emotional decision making or emotional intelligence, it mostly thinks it reminds me of making the right decision on how to make the right decision.
mhm.
So if I'm not emotionally inclined in knowing my feelings, then I can make a wrong decision thinking that it's the right decision, but this is just literally how I feel. I didn't think it through, and I wasn't able to talk about it with anybody else. So I'm just reacting on
Mhm.
how I feel,
Yep.
and I'm making the decision literally on how I feel. But then technically, intelligence becomes the key word because is it an intelligent decision to make? Because we're not taught how to say what we're really feeling as a young adult or as a youth or even going through life. So when we're talking about emotional intelligence, I think it's more based on, to me anyway, am I expressing my feelings the right way?
Mm.
Not
Okay.
more of what decision am I going to make on the inside and do
Uh,
I think it's a good decision to make or not?
mm.
Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I just, I don't know. To me, emotional intelligence was just more based on that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, making my decisions off of it and stuff like that. And 75% of the time, it was the right thing to do. But 25% of the time, it was the wrong thing to do. You know, because you're acting off of just pure what you feel. And like you said, you're not thinking it over. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
You're going based pure off emotion, and that could be a really bad thing. Can
right. So exactly. So obviously you're going just off of emotion, But the intelligence, like I said, form of it is mostly we're not taught emotion. So we're taught, again, slap a D on our chest and just deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're taught to go through life on deal with your problems and come up with the best ways possible. But yet, when it comes to emotional intelligence, we can deal with fear, we can deal with anger, we can deal with sadness, we can deal with happiness, we can deal with love, we can deal with all of that. So how do we incorporate those emotions and actually deal with them? The intelligent side of dealing with your emotion. Again, like, we're not taught how, so again, it all leads to fight, flight, or freeze, or it leads to just the way you were taught and brought up as a male. Mm-hmm. Instead of making right and wrong decisions when it comes down to it, because you don't know any better. So not even making a decision. So you're saying your emotional intelligence tells you to do one thing or another thing, and it always works out for you 75% of the time.
Most of the time.
Right. So you're making those decisions internally, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you express these feelings, and how do other people perceive these feelings? So it's mostly on perception. So you're doing this X, Y, and Z, and you're doing it this way, but I might not know why you're doing it.
Yeah,
the next person might not know why you're doing it. You're just doing it because you know it's the right thing to do, and because of life taught you this is it. Mm-hmm. But yet, if you were able to break down exactly how you're feeling in that situation, a lot more people might get it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I always go back to relationships, only because most of the times that this happens is in relationships.
Yeah.
Like, no, trust me, do it this way. This is how it's supposed to be done. But yet you're not giving any explanations on why you're doing it that way to resolve conflict, to resolve, or even not even resolving everything, to get ahead. Well, yeah, it all comes down to resolving something, because you're resolving something to break something down.
Yeah, and a lot of people could look at your decision and think you're crazy. You know what I mean? Because you're going off of emotion and like
not knowing where you're coming from.
Yeah, but I mean, passion, it does have a funny way of trumping logic. So a lot of the times you kind of need to go with that gut intuition, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me personally.
But when are the times you actually talk about your feelings?
Like when I like actually express my feelings?
Yeah.
I guess through those actions, or most of the time I write them down, honestly. Most of the time that absolutely helps a lot for me. Like, poetry I've been into since I was like a young kid, and I write all the time. I love writing. I love reading different things that people write and like their emotions, because like you said, as men, we don't express these emotions so freely like me and you just talking here in a conversation. I'd be like, oh bro, I kind of sad today, you know what I mean?
Right.
Ooh, we don't really do that. I mean, we might eventually, especially if we have a few drinks or something, but more than that, the way I express them is I like to write them down.
Which is a great outlet, but when don't you have that outlet? So I get you do it that way. You write it down whenever you're going through shit. You write it down. Which a lot of males look at you like, oh, bro, you write it down. Fuck that. What, you got a diary?
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because if you write your feelings down, that's why a lot of people actually become rappers. Because like, I'm going to spit my heart out on this pen on what I've been through. But do you think that if you actually knew what you're going through and how you're going through it, and was taught this at a young age or even in life, you would be able to, again, express it differently or have a different outlet or a different conversation with somebody?
Like, I don't know. Me personally, I feel like I would just always be this way. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, through my experiences, I just feel like I am that type of person who relates more to like emotion and like people's circumstances. Like, I'm more interested in like people and the way they feel than I am in like things and the way they work. You know what I mean? Like how most men are supposed to be like rational thinkers and like, this clock, I'm going to take it apart, see how it works and stuff like that. Me, I'm like, I want to know the person who made this clock and like why they made this clock.
So you want to be more understanding.
Yeah. Like
you want to be more understanding than understanding.
Yeah. So like, more than understanding the thing, I want to understand the person and the motive behind the thing. You know what I mean? Which is
absolutely the point of this podcast, because a lot of people's understanding or what they're going through is not what they have on the surface or what they're portraying out, or they're portraying something out that is something that I don't know because I don't know what that person is going through. So that comes on the line of like empathy and sympathy in a way. Like a lot of people will be sympathetic to a person but not give a fuck. Like, oh, I feel
Yeah,
bad for you. Who
yeah.
cares? Great, we're all going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Get over it. Do something different to get out of it. And
Pick yourself
empathy,
up. Yeah.
right? And then empathy is one putting yourself in that person's shoes,
Mm-hmm.
on that person's feelings, and be on some. Why is he actually going through this? And what can I either do to help, or what can I do to either avoid a situation that's happening? And in a way, it's like a borderline. Who really knows? So that's where I think it comes to intellect, and the whole point of emotional intellect is it's like, all right, well, I'm able to now, which we're able to now, because I wasn't always this way, to understand where a person's coming from instead of just automatically assuming he's being a dick. He's being an asshole. He's being violent. He's being this bougie. He's being boasty. He's being prideful. Or he's being any of these topics that we talked about. It's literally because I don't understand what he's going through and he doesn't understand what I'm going through. He doesn't understand my background. He doesn't understand my background. He doesn't understand the person I am. And all I see is him as a person that's saying something that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to give respect to give respect. And if you're not doing it, guess what? Now we have a problem. Instead of understanding where this person's coming from. Yeah. And it might be his fucking fault because he wasn't able to express his feelings the right way.
That's what I'm saying. And both of you, like, how you don't know how to express yourself. So the only way you're going to end up expressing yourself is through anger when you have a disagreement. You know what I mean?
Violence, depression.
Instead of asking them, like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, straight up.
Right. Like, how many times, like, I don't know about you, but how many times have you, which I'm asking you, how many times have you rode around by yourself in a car with a bottle next to you, or in your basement, or in your house smoking a blunt, or just completely drinking and obliviated and talking about nobody gets me?
Yeah.
Because nobody understands.
I don't have enough fingers. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, and I think that is because you never knew how to express yourself. Mm-hmm. But if you express yourself and other people express themselves the same way, you'll realize that you're not the only one going through these type of situations. You're not the only one living life that way or feeling that way. It's because you didn't have enough emotional intellect to understand it. And you didn't have enough emotional intellect because, again, we were never taught.
Yeah. As men to express these feelings.
Right, which is technically empathy and expression and intellect was originally a female trait in a way. Mm-hmm. Like, females are raised up to talk about their feelings, let you know what you're going through. So how was your day? What did you do today? Was school okay? Was work okay? What's going on? Do you have a boyfriend you like? How was you with your little girlfriends? Who hurt you in school? Men never had that dialect with people.
Exactly. And with men, it's like, oh, you're not hanging out with girls yet? Oh, you 14, 15? What are you, gay? You ain't got no girlfriend yet? Da, 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 da. You know, right. But we can't talk about, like, those things. Like,
whether they were or wasn't, we wasn't able to talk about it, period.
Like, oh, I do like this girl, and I don't know how to talk to her. Oh, you don't know how to talk to girls? What are you, a faggot? What are you, gay? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, anything.
Absolutely. Like, and then even when it came down to it, it was literally like we'll have a conversation with our elders, whether it's uncle, father, cousin, bro, smash, do this. And then there was a lot of times where I was actually in relationships and I was steered the wrong way, actually really liking a female. And I'm like, oh, men are raised to be pimps. You got to have more than one. Can't trust these hoes, all of that aspect of it. But yet I wasn't able to actually talk about how I really felt unless it was like me being drunk as an adult or with one of my close personal friends, mm-hmm. and then me opening up to them like, yo, bro, I'm really feeling her. But at a juvenile age, you're not able to do that. And then the older you get with that same stigma, it becomes a lot harder until people get into relationships and then they're more open to opening up about their relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you going through that, bro? That's crazy. I'm going through the same thing. But it takes a lot of alcohol. It takes a lot of weed. It takes a lot of out of your violence, are you just completely getting upset and overspilling your emotions? Yeah. Because you weren't intelligent enough to know that these emotions were okay. Mm-hmm. Or it's the norm. Or
because it could be like another situation too, like with me, like I feel like I was always like more emotionally intelligent based, you know, like I said in the beginning. So like growing up as a man, people will tell you, don't cry, bro, right now. You know what I mean? Like, stop doing that. Don't do that. oh, you love that girl. You can't tell her you love her, bro.
Right.
You can't do that because then she's not gonna like you no more. You know, she only likes the guys who are assholes and what, you know, that's
Right.
the things that are told to
The
you.
nice guy finished
Exactly.
last.
And like
Cool stereo.
don't express your feelings, but that's how you really feel.
Hold it in,
Act
hold it
like
on,
you
don't
don't
tell her.
care, bro. Act like you don't care. Or not even about a girl, just any situation. Yo, act like you don't care about that shit, bro. You
But
can't
even-
let people see that shit bothers you, and you know what I'm saying?
But even on the other side, like a girl might be raised up in that household talking about, oh, if the man you're supposed to get is supposed to be like this, and the third,
Mhm.
not knowing that men have emotions as well. So
Yeah.
they're looking at the tough guy. They're looking at the guy that doesn't show emotions, on the grind, doing him, working, doing all of that, not seeing the underlying issues that he's going through. And then because he's perpetrated, like his male figure showed him, nah, don't overshare, especially
Yeah.
with a girl. Don't overshare in public. You want to cry, go in the fucking bathroom, cry by yourself.
Yeah. Do
Or
that shit in the shower.
right, exactly,
bro.
somewhere else where that shit builds up. And then it builds up, to me anyway, with anger.
Yeah.
And it gets you in a lot of situations, which I talk about all the time. And then on a women's aspect, literally, they're looking at that's how a man is supposed to be.
Mhm.
Until you get educated and you're inclined to know, nah, bro, that's really not the case.
It's just
Men
people
have
are people.
emotions,
Yeah.
women have emotions, people are people.
That's it. We
But
all
yet-
react to things differently. You know what I'm saying? Like there might be a female out there who has more male characteristics than me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way she handles emotion and everything.
Right.
And I might be on the opposite, or vice versa. Who knows? It's
And then unfortunately, it sucks where it doesn't suck for women, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. They should have outlets. They should have women's shelters. They should have battered shelters. They should have their homegirls to talk to. They should have extra grants and money, and especially with the rights and stuff that they had to fight for. I get it. I understand it. But yet, it left men in the lag on 5 or 4 principal bases. Get money, be a man, take care of your family, and be tough.
yeah.
So those are the aspects that we're going through in life, and that's all we had. So when we actually have emotions and we don't know how to deal with them, then we're making mistakes. So now we're going through depression. Men are like one of the
Or-
highest rates of depression and
Or
suicide and
domestic
everything else.
issues.
Or
because-
domestic issues.
Because you let it bottle up so much, and then eventually, who's the person you're always around? Your significant other.
And
So
you're
when
gonna-
it gets to a certain point, it pops. Who's it pop on? The
Her.
person you're always around. And now you
But
look
then this
like
is
a
also-
bad person.
Right, but then they're raised, oh, this is a man. He's not going to hit me. He's not supposed to hit me. So she's like reckless, swinging on you, beating you, and doing extra stuff. And then you're supposed to sit there and take it because you're the man.
Yeah.
But yet that's not okay.
Which
Like
is
she's not supposed to hit you as
fucking
well.
crazy,
She's
yeah.
not supposed to do all of that as well. But as a man, you're supposed to take it. But what if a girl literally, like experience, puts a crib in front of the door, sits in a crib, doesn't let you literally leave out the front door, and then locks all the doors in the house? Like, nah, you're not going anywhere until you fucking do this. So you tell me about this girl or that girl or what you're going through. And it's like, yo, at this point, I just wouldn't leave. I'm trying to eliminate myself from the topic and the conversation, but yet you're still egging on. So then she starts being violent, and then you don't even have to be physically violent. You could be emotionally violent,
yeah.
throw something, break something,
Punch
the
a
cops
hole in the
come,
wall.
you're going to jail.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's literally off of emotional intellect because you weren't smart enough to know the emotions you're dealing with or how to express them. So you're like, yo, I just want to shut down right now.
Mhm.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to deal with it. I just want to leave. Or I'm going to be here and I'm going to get real physical, loud, violent, and in the house be violent, which still is not okay, but it boils down to intellect on how to deal with your emotions.
That's what it is. Or how to calm yourself down. You know what I mean? Like,
And you have no outlet, so this is your outlet every
exactly.
time.
It's so difficult.
It's built
because
up.
You're like a volcano. As soon as you reach the boiling point, you're gonna erupt.
And when you
Going to.
erupt-
if you don't let those things out, you have to, because like most volcanoes, they let things out little by little. But if most the volcanoes that erupt and cause catastrophe, they don't let that little bit out. They're holding it in, and then it just
Right, and then when you erupt, 90% of the time, you didn't erupt just because of that little bit that was just
Yeah.
built up. That's just like the icing on the cake. That shit can be like days aggression, months aggression, years aggression, and problems. Let's not even say aggression, just problems everyday problems that you're dealing with that's just building up. It can be your job's not paying you enough, so you're mad at that, or they're not giving you overtime, or they cut your hours, or they didn't give you the raise, or somebody at work is pissing you off. You can't go home and be on some, guess what I had to deal with today, da da da. No, how was your day? It was fine. How was everybody else's day? Everybody else's day is going to spill out.
Yeah.
And really not care about your day because my man got it. He got it. He's the head of the household.
Yeah.
He's man.
Yeah.
It can be, again, like
That
it can be
shit don't even
finances.
bother
It can
him.
be
It don't even
it
bother
can be
him.
finances, but it can be other things. Like, all right, well, my car broke down. I don't know how to fix it. I'm calling people up to try to fix it. I don't know how to fix it. I'm getting angry alone that I don't know how to fix it. So now I'm supposed to be a man
But I
and know
can't
how to
even-
fix
I
the
can't
damn
even
car.
do it, though.
I don't know how to do this shit, so I'm calling somebody else to do it, and I'm getting mad that I'm calling somebody else to do it. Put my pride to the side. It can be a school program you want to go to. It can be literally anything, but yet you're not talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
or you're not expressing it in any type of way. You're not writing it down like Johnny does. You're not.
Mm-hmm.
You literally have no form of communication
No type
of
outlet. Yeah.
outletting your emotion, and it's going to build up, and you're going to go through something. But yet, if you keep it in, it's just going to happen and build up, and then you're going to
Mhm.
pour it all over like the volcano. And a lot of times when we do talk about it, again, it goes down to being drunk, talking about it with one of your friends.
Yeah.
And then the next day, like, oh, you feeling like society said by you expressing your emotions like that, you feel soft.
Yeah. So they try to tell you, like, oh, you're supposed to be a man, bro. No. You can't be acting like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nah,
absolutely. Which is crazy because I'm still a human being. I still have emotions. But again, like we weren't taught what these emotions were. We were just taught to deal with it. We weren't taught that, oh, this is what's happening right now. It's normal.
Or
it's a conversation I can have, or there's an outlet to it.
Or we're taught to express them physically. You know what I mean? Like, oh, go work out. Go lift some weights. Go for a run or something like that. It's like, how come I can't just talk to you?
Right.
How come we can't just have a conversation and you tell me shit's gonna be all right, bro?
Right.
Relax.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, especially people like some of the older men that we grew up around, because they were perpetuating the same thing. Even worse,
yeah.
In those days, because it was like, be a fucking man. Or, you know, Popeye
go to
shit.
fucking war and come home and just relax.
And that's all you fucking need is some greens and some protein, and you fucking keep going. But no, that's not life, bro. You need to express the way you feel about anything and everything. You need someone like that in your life that you can just vent to. You know?
And then if you know what you're going through, it's a lot easier. So that's why I tell people, like, read a lot. And that's key. Like, if you read a lot and you try to learn a lot.
Thing.
Even if you don't want to read a lot, which I know a lot of people
don't
like reading.
Books.
Exactly. There's audiobooks.
There's podcasts. Like this one.
Right. And then there's also like, what do they have on Netflix? They have those events where it's like, oh, these people are going through this. And you can literally like do research on every single little thing where they have things where people are going through it.
Yeah,
like it's something that actually like, and it makes your mind think about something further.
And for me, like growing up as like more of an emotional like male, like philosophy and like like history has helped me a lot, because I'm like, there's been a lot of men who felt like me in the past. You know what I'm saying? So I can go back and look at like those guys, what they went through and how they dealt with it. Unfortunately, a lot of them, because they grew up back then, have dealt with. They probably committed suicide or, you know, whatever.
Exactly,
like,
but
you know
a lot
what I'm
of them
saying?
have.
Like,
exactly.
Because they couldn't get those feelings out.
Right.
That's
what are those things? I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm going back to those things that people watch. I don't know. I can't think of the name. But where they do research and they literally just put it out. The documentaries, sorry. So there's a lot of documentaries alone that are history-based and on what men are going through, and people are going through alone, but it at least opens your mind up to know that you're not alone, and there's another way to talk about it, and there's other outlets.
Or there at least should be, you know what I mean? You should have, like, that's why I'm glad to have a friend like Smitty, because I can come to him with an issue that I have, and we can talk about it. You know what I mean? There's no judgment, you know, like, start crying or something. He's not going to be like, oh, you're a little bitch, and just deal with it. You know what I mean? He's just going to talk to me tell me his experience, or if he hasn't experienced it,
Exactly what I
he's
was
going to
going
tell
with it,
me
yeah.
with like just what he knows on the subject that I'm going.
Right. It became a lot of life experience, but it became a lot of life experience over the simple fact that I made the wrong decision thinking one way, one point of view, one way, and that was it. And it got me in a lot of situations that I was gracefully enough to get out of.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm able to talk to the youth or another man or another person, be like, nah, bro, I don't agree with you off of the strength of X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking because of the shit that I read and the shit that I just know. I'm able to express it off of that, but I'm talking through life experiences. So for one, with life experiences, those that can't do teach, I've done and now I'm trying to teach. So that alone goes with that. And then other people are like, oh, but there's other ways. Yes, I've also did research on a lot of other ways. So I'm not just talking about my ass. I'm doing and I'm showing and I'm talking about it. So now when people ask me like, you don't know everything? Absolutely, I don't know everything. I can just talk about personal experience. I can just talk about what I read, my references, my freaking sourcing, and things like that. But yeah, I don't know everything. So yes, I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear where you're coming from. I want to hear what you're going through. And if I can relate to it, guess what? I'm gonna have that empathy aspect. Like, yo, you know what, bro? I get it. I've been there. And if I don't, I'm gonna be on some damn, bro. That's tough. That's crazy. I get it. But I'm pretty sure you're not the only one going through it. But let me hear you. Because a lot of times people just want to be heard. They don't even want the advice back. They just want that one person just to express their feelings too. Like, just let me get it off my chest. I'm not asking for your advice. Just let me get it off.
That's why they call it venting, because
right.
With a vent, there's one way out.
Right.
It doesn't come back with a vent. I don't need the feedback all the time. Like how you said, sometimes I need to just let it out. Listen to me. That's it.
And that's boils down to the emotional intelligence, because a lot of people be on some, let me say something back. Nah, bro, let him talk. You gotta know when to listen.
What a lot of people do is compare the situation, and they try to like, I don't know. I feel it's like an oppression Olympics.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like everyone's trying to compete for like,
who had it
I
worse?
had it fucking real bad, dude. You don't fucking understand.
Right.
Like,
oh no, but I did this.
That's
but
not
I
what
did
it's
this.
about. I just want you to relate to me, listen to me, and relate to me real quick. That's it.
That's it. Like there's no need for anything else. It's
I don't need advice, or unless I ask you for some advice.
Right. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Then it's like,
but if not, just listen to me real quick, bro. That's all I need.
And that alone will make that person understand. Because a lot of times you just need to hear it out loud from yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times you can be like, vent it up, and then just be like, yo, bro, boom, 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 just ran off your chest. And then once you get it off your chest, you can literally answer your own questions.
Yes.
Just you saying it out loud and getting it off your chest.
And you won't even need and just having another person there to absorb it real quick.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they just it's so difficult. Sometimes.
Yeah, and you won't even need the feedback. It's like we both know you answered your own question, right? So you literally are emotionally intelligent to understand what you're talking about and what you're doing.
Because we all are, because we're human beings, and we all us humans rely a lot on emotion.
Right.
We do.
And it's a lot easier to talk about.
When we're scared, we know, get the fuck out of there.
Right.
We feel threatened, we know, put those up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like we go based off of those. Emotions are those things that you feel. That's it. You feel there's no thinking about it. It's an involuntary action emotion.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I brought this up before, but even with business again, it's like Dave Chappelle said it the best when Keeping It Real goes wrong, where he had that little skit.
Of the best skits ever,
he had that skit. He's like, "This is what you should do in this environment." So I'm emotionally intelligent to know this is not how I should react, but yet you still react on it.
So
and you still, fuck this shit. Da, da, da. It's like, now you're just stupid. You're making yourself look dumb as hell. And I'm sorry, you just did it because you emotionally intelligent to
what
react.
What they call is a cognitive dissonance. Even when you're presented with new information, you're going to go based off of your base.
Feelings, right.
Yeah, you're going to go based off of your base. So that's a cognitive dissonance. Even when you know, I shouldn't be doing this, and you know what I mean, you're still going to go based off of that.
And I
first
absolutely,
instinct.
And I'm not gonna lie. Like I even use him for a lot of things that I go through in life where I can literally spit down a definition of how I feel, but there's words out there for actually how I feel that I'm not used to. And it's like, I feel like this, da da da. Oh, that's called this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So then I'll do more research just on that one word alone. And wordplay is great because wordplay can actually get you out of a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Look, so initially, like if you're feeling like disrespected or played or undermined and your intelligence is being attacked, in a way you can literally just simply talk yourself out of that conversation or simply say a couple of words that'll get that person thinking and you stepping back like, well, sir, this is X, Y, and Z.
And that's why I love words, is because you can manipulate almost any situation with it. Not saying I'm manipulating it for like bad things,
right? And a lot of people
like
hear that word.
That's why I had to bring that up.
Right, and automatically
people like, oh, you're an evil person. You're full of malice, and you want to spread harm. No. Like when I say manipulate, just not so much even to my advantage, but to everyone's advantage. I want everyone to feel comfortable in this situation, so I'm gonna manipulate it to that.
Right. I actually got questioned on that one day because obviously I'm drunk, I'm overfeeling, and one of my friends was literally talking about his life and situation. So I related to it, and I was like, listen, I get it, for the simple fact that the reason why I don't do it anymore is because I manipulate topics and conversation. And as soon as he heard that word manipulate, he thought I was trying to play him and said, so how?
Got into a bad mindset.
How you trying to manipulate people? I'm like, nah, not like that. I'm just using wordplay a little differently than we would typically use it for, that can literally, like I just did now, manipulate. You hear that word, automatically send you down a rabbit hole, like I'm trying to play you.
Game you.
Yeah. Where no, it's like I'm using different dialects to show you and tell you that there's other ways, so let's try to do it this way, especially when alcohol is involved. You can use wordplay that'll get a person deeper in their anger or completely out of it, and then it literally comes to wordplay. And with wordplay, yes, technically there's a form of manipulation, but yet it's not always a bad thing because I'm looking out for you, bro.
And which, because one time I kind of like considered being a bouncer, but I'm a small guy. You know, I'm 5'5", 150 pounds. I'm a really small guy, and I'm like, how can I be? But even then, but all the bouncers that I talk to, they're like, it's not about fighting and dragging a person out. It's about de-escalating the situation. Yeah. It's about manipulating the situation so that people get calmer. You know what I mean? So, like, again, that word manipulate sounds negative, but to a bouncer, you want to manipulate the situation so you can calm everyone down.
Absolutely, because technically a bouncer is not even supposed to let it.
Yeah, they're not supposed to touch you at all
unless they feel intimidated or violent.
Yeah. So that's when I was assaulted. Like, that's when I started considering. I was like, maybe I could be a bouncer because I can talk to people, relate to people, and rationalize with people and calm them down. You know,
right? And that's what, like, that word alone is great. Like rationalization, like when you're rationalizing with a person, it opens them up for more understanding and acceptance and wanting to talk. Like, again, like, I'm not the biggest dude alive, but yet I've been out one time, big dude, let's say like 6'2", 300 pounds, trying to block my vehicle and stuff. I get it, yeah, people got the blade, I got the ratchet. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. Yeah. I got a brick, I can do all of that stuff.
But yet, with some big guys,
right, exactly. You know, but yet, at the same time, it's like,
I handle myself.
I literally stepped back and was like, why are you so drunk and aggressive right now? Like, what happened today alone that makes you want to come out and just do this or be this man? Dude started crying like, my mother just died today. Da da da. This happened. They had the house spazzing on me, talking about I didn't take care of her enough. But that alone of me opening up a conversation of dialect de-escalated the conversation and gave him enough emotional intellect to talk about his feelings because I actually wanted to listen.
Gave him an outlet for that.
Then before the end of the night, this dude's fucking crying. I'm like, yo, no, it's man, show you what happened. Da-da-da. I'm like, yo, bro, man's good.
We having a heart to heart right now.
Yeah, now this is my best friend. Gave him my business card, gave him my information, put him on the podcast. Yo, bro, just listen in, man. I get it. You're not alone. People go through this all the time, and that's literally what it boils down to. But yet you have to be smart enough to know it. which boils down to emotional intellect. Because if you don't know any better, guess what?
You can't do
It's
any
going to
better.
consistently happen all the time.
If you don't know better, you can't do better. Yeah.
It's just going to constantly be on your head. It's going to constantly be talked about. It's going to constantly be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an issue that you got to get over. Because everybody knows that, especially when we're younger, if you were in a impoverished neighborhood, or even like if you wasn't from a impoverished neighborhood, it can get you in a bad situation where it was literally you led with emotion first without actually thinking about what you're really going through. I'm mad right now, so I'm going to react this way. Why are you mad? And that's what the why is. Why makes it more intellectual. Why are you sad?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you angry? Why are you?
Why is a philosophical question,
Right?
in
Like
itself,
why?
You know what I'm saying? So
but yeah, it could break it down a little further on mad because,
mm-hmm.
and then you get to the bottom line issue, and then from there you're like, you know what? I'm not even mad anymore.
And that's why
now I know how to take care of.
Philosophy is my favorite subject.
Absolutely. Now I know how to take care of why I was originally mad.
Because there's so many different nuances to it. You know, you
Yeah.
never know how this next. We could have grew up next door to each other, been the same color, same everything, but have totally different situations. Yeah. Totally. Based off emotional intelligence.
Absolutely.
Based off of it. Just that one thing alone. There's so many other aspects, but based off that one thing alone, totally different experiences. Even though we grew up side by side, same color, you know, whatever. Right. Whatever the situations may be.
And technically we grew up, like, for a personal view, technically we grew up in the same family, but yet not at the same time because of the age difference, and not even in the same towns or locations at the time. So there was dates and literally like age and times that were separated, but yet almost in the same way. And then you went through your experiences, I went through my experiences in life alone,
and then one day we
collaborated back together like, yo, bro, you know, of course, family.
And me and Smitty, we've had so many heart-to-hearts, honestly. So fucking many.
And this is like almost 15 years in the making, just knowing each other personally.
This is a part of the reason why we made this whole podcast.
Right, and that's not even like just knowing each other. It's like, oh, fly by. Oh, yeah, I know little Johnny. Oh, yeah, I know Smitty. Da-da-da, shit like that. But yet, also, it still brought us back together because the way we went through life and the struggles that we had made us obviously like intellectual to be on some, bro, same shit. Other people need to hear it because we're not the only ones. We know that we're not the only ones, and we know other people have struggles out there. But yet, how are they going to deal with their struggles? Probably the same damn way that we did our whole life. Not knowing there's other outlets, not knowing there's other ways. Because technically, is there for men? No. Drinking with your homeboys, figuring the shit out yourself, or going to school and getting just smarter on your own to figure out what you did was right or wrong. But yet, nobody actually comes across and says, hey, bro, I get it. It was wrong. This was wrong. This was wrong. I'm not even saying it's wrong. It's life happens and shit happens. So when shit happens, what are you going to do with it? You going to let it eat you for the rest of your fucking life? Nah. Not get over it. Learn from it.
Yeah.
Learn what to do next.
Sit with it if you have to for a little bit. Sit with it.
Right.
Fucking draw some pictures about it.
Right. But also it gives
whatever you got to do about it.
Absolutely. But also it gives the avenue of, guess what? Now somebody else did it. Somebody else is going through it. And I was about to go out and do this dumb shit. Now I don't have to. Because now I see where that can go. I can see what that can do. I know for a fact I'm in the car right now mad at my fucking girl. The only reason why I use relationships in a lot of this shit, because men literally go through a lot of relationships and don't know how to express their own feelings with relationships. Like, I'm mad at my girl in the car, driving through parks, speeding in neighborhoods, even slow cruising with a bottle on my lap, blasting fucking emotional R&B music or fucking rap music that's about breakups of fucking girls and all that other stuff. But that's literally how I'm dealing with my emotions. But yet, if I knew there was some outlet where I can go to and just talk about it, like, yo, I'm going through this right now, man. Shit's not cool. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle it. Help me. Because it's a cry for help, and I had nobody to help.
Even with the relationship thing, like you say, because a lot of us grew up with single mothers, but that relationship with our single mothers wasn't the best. Or they taught us or tried to teach us how to be a man.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what they saw from your father, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like from our fathers, like who aren't there anymore. So they saw that from them. So they're like, you need to be like your father because that's how a man is supposed to be. So you need to be unemotional and all these things. And they're kind of perpetuating these stereotypes to us. So again, we don't know that emotional intelligence because the one person who we think is supposed to be emotional, our mother, is teaching us all these things to not be emotional.
Right. In the meantime, she's not even with the father.
Yeah, exactly.
Either the father, like, don't get me wrong, the father might still be in the life, but he's not raising the child. The mother is 90% of the time back then. Or the father was just not around, so you were just raised by that mother. So she's either expressing how her man should have been or is, or what she wants in a man and how she thought that a man should be. So she's raising a child as, oh, man's supposed to do this, man's supposed to do this.
From what she's seen from her father.
Trying to be a man. And she's just trying to be a man, not knowing how to be a man, not knowing that men have emotions, men have this, men have that. Like, it goes out to, when I was a kid, my father used to tell me all the time, it is what it is. Life is what it is. Like, he used to tell about himself, I am who I am and I do what I do. Motherfucker, that didn't answer any question that I just had.
Zero.
So what am I doing is right or wrong? I don't know.
It is what it is.
Because tomorrow I'm about to go knock on that damn door and fucking throw roses at it and be like, baby, I love you. I'm so sorry. Or I might be on some fuck you, bitch, if any nigga ever comes over here. Right. It can go either way. But yeah, I got no advice on what to do. It's like, nobody ever told me, like, bro, if it's meant to be, it'll be. But at the same time, worry about yourself. Focus on your happiness. Focus on your intellect. Focus on who you're supposed to be. And then from there, go back and address the conversation. Now, I was like, fuck that. I'm all kind of emotions, and I don't know which ones to feel. So automatically, I'm going to be on some, duh. Like, they have a man right now. Yeah, exactly. Because literally come back so irate. It's like weird. Like, they have a meme actually on TikTok right now where girls are posting it. And girls are posting this meme to the point where they're talking about, oh, me going out of the house feeling okay after my man's caught in his emotions. And he's literally yelling, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. I ain't want you anyway. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. And the meme is literally women just walking away with their shit looking good. Yeah. Like, but yet, this man's literally crying for help and doesn't know how to express his emotions, whether he fucked up or not.
Yeah.
That's literally what he's doing. He's crying for help and doesn't know how to express it because he doesn't intelligently know how to.
Because that's what men.
Yeah, that's a fucking meme.
We will revert to it if we don't know how to express it. It's gonna come out as anger.
Oh, fuck you, bitch! Like when raised to bitches ain't shit. Fuck you. Anger, or you going, and then the next day that nigga sobbing. I love you, man. I'm gonna kill myself. Da da da. Men do that.
They do.
Or they're gonna be awesome. I ain't leaving. I'm gonna go fuck. Yo, I'm gonna make this shit work. Men do that. But it's literally them not knowing how to express their emotions. Mm-hmm. And they go through that, and then women get the hee-hees and giggles out of it like, oh, look at this. I got this nigga sobbing like a bitch. And this is women like, saying that. Like, well, first of all, like, if I call you a bitch, right.
But she's perpetuating that whole fucking action, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, if I call her a bitch, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But yet, she's literally telling me, oh, you acting like a bitch. So, am I acting like a female is what you're saying?
Yeah, right. Am I acting like you?
Right. In a way, it's like crazy. Like, or am I acting like I have feelings and know how to express them?
Like I'm a fucking human being and I can be hurt too.
Right. And I'm hurt and I don't know how to express my feelings, so I'm going with this.
Exactly, bro.
But it's crazy. Like, a lot of people don't understand that. And that's what it boils down to when it's emotional intellect. It's
how to recognize your emotions and deal with them.
Exactly.
Express them in a positive way.
Right. It's for one, knowing what emotion you're going through. It's for two, how to express them. And for three, finding outlets to deal with them. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have those three, your emotional dialect is going to be obsolete. Yeah. And you're going to continue on the same repetitive pattern on some... Like, I know people that's been in 3, 4, 5 different relationships, and their breakups are all the same. And some of these dudes been in like 3 or 4 year relationships, and a lot of these dudes literally in months relationships.
Yeah, like skip,
and then
like
they're just jumping.
They're doing skid bids with relationships,
and they're still just jumping right back into another relationship. and then going through the same
'Cause
emotions when they broke up.
They're never fixing the problem, which is their self.
Right. And a lot of times it's like you're what do they call it? You're emotionally like fucked in a way where
Flawed, yeah.
PTSD coming away or like old school reactions just set in. It's like, oh my God, this is happening again. So this is how I'm gonna react because I was never taught a different way how to react. So the repetitive cycle is just gonna keep on going with my relationships to react this way. Instead of understanding like, yo, bro, people have feelings. She's not respecting yours, and you're not respecting hers, or you're not handling it the right way. If it didn't work the first 4 times of you dealing with these feelings this way, you were never taught to do it a different way. You're going to keep on repeating to do it.
It's like they need to talk to each other, not yell at each other. Talk to each other. Like, really, no matter what this person says, you can't get mad at it because they're expressing themselves. That's what a relationship is, too. You know what I mean? You can't be mad at how I feel.
Right.
You gonna get mad at me for how I feel? You can leave me for how I feel.
Yeah, but even
you can't be fucking mad at me like that, though. You know
absolutely,
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And like persecute me for how I feel.
Absolutely.
If you don't like it, be out. That's it. But we all have to be honest with each other.
Right, but then a male could say that to a female and still be hurt. Like, you don't like it, be out. Knowing damn well I don't feel that way.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Babe,
yeah.
I really want to work this thing out. I understand I fucked up. Or you're not seeing things this way, but I want to talk about it this way. Man, nah. I don't like that shit, be out. I don't give a fuck knowing damn well they care.
Because like you said, it's been a cycle for so long.
And then they're going to keep on repeating to do it unless they're taught a different way. But yet 90% of the time, men are not taught a different way.
That's what I'm saying.
They're taught what they know, and this is it.
And that's why we're here.
Absolutely. Cheers to that.
That's why this podcast is here.
Absolutely. And they can go in so many different ways. This is
an outlet for all of y'all that like feel some kind of way or feel like you can't get it up. Shit, make a fake YouTube account and post it in the comments.
Not only that,
you know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do.
Comment. Like, literally,
I'm saying whatever way you got to get it out. Get that shit out, bro. It's not worth keeping it built up and then you fucking up your future self for a situation that lasts 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, just
absolutely
get it out. Get it out.
And it's crazy, like even like you said, like with this podcast. But even if like there's a comment section. Like people go in the comments and be like, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? If I can't relate to it, at least you got it off your chest.
Facts.
And then if I can't relate to it, guess what? I'm pretty sure there's several comments on there that feel the same exact way you feel. And I'd be able to link you up together even if you wanted to. Like, yo, bro, talk about it. There's other people going through it. Talk about it with this person. He's literally going through that same thing right now. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy to talk about it. Like, so before I even started this podcast, I'm not going to go too far in it. But this is a successful artist that left my house. And when I was talking about, relationships alone, like relationships can kill you. Trust me, a breakup, whether it's your first breakup, second breakup, they hurt. And then I know a lot of people like literally hurt you to the core of your heart, where sometimes you just want to drink the pain away. You want to say fuck life. You don't give a fuck about nothing. Your heart's cold. However you want to portray it out, it's life, bro. And I get it. There's other people that are going through it. And sometimes you need to talk about it. So I would love for you to be a guest on a podcast and actually talk about it. He was like, yeah, bet. As soon as that happens, I'm down. But then there was a lot of other things going on, and I left it there. That topic alone got it in his head to go to his ex-girl's house with a gun, open the door because he had a key, and she was in there with another guy and shoot the guy. Ended up in jail that night when he left my house.
Well, goddamn.
And it kind of was crazy to me. I'm like, damn, bro, you're supposed to express it. I guess in a way I wasn't like on expressing it. You was going through it immediately right then and there.
Yeah,
and didn't realize
that way
that it was that urgent for you to do that. But it happened. And I'm like, damn, that's kind of fucked up and crazy. Because if I would have just literally paid a little more attention to him, a little more time, a little more emotions on what he was saying, and he was opened up to talking about it, that whole shit could have been prevented.
Yep. Because you could have kept him there.
Right. Know? Instead of, nah, I get it. That's what it's about. Chime in. I ain't going to go into details right now because later on we're going to talk about it. Instead of like, yo, bro, this dude trying to open up to you. Mm-hmm. You shut him down. So he literally went back
and did what he was going to
do. What he was going to do. Which is crazy. It happens.
It
And
will happen.
it boils down to, like, he's not the only one. I've been close to that edge before. I know there's
We
other
all
people that
have.
has been
As
there.
men, we all have. I feel
Like, I played the bitch role one time in a relationship where I got all the shorty's bags out the crib. I'm like, yo, come pick up your shit. She's like, oh, just leave it at the door. I was like, oh, you ain't even hit? Threw all that shit in the middle of the street, ran over it twice. Like, fuck you, bitch. And then I've been with a freak before. It was like, oh, I literally, like, put fucking sex oil all over the bed, flushed the shoes down the toilet, and all the sex toys on the toilet. Cause, yeah, I was a freak at one point. But yeah, it was literally because I was caught in my emotions and didn't want to physically aggress. I did that dumb shit. Instead of just being honest, you know what? This is life. Life happens. Time heals. It's easier said than done. But these are bad decisions that people make when they're caught up in their emotions and not knowing that there's different avenues or different ways, or even the emotion that you're dealing with.
No doubt.
And that was just me oversharing with a lot of topics. And I'm pretty sure even the people that are listening to, that one person's going to come in and be on some, bro, you going to share my information? My bad, bro. But yo, Smitty on the weekends. Mel Review. Holla at your boy.
Co-host Johnny Kappa. Peace, peace.
Mel Intellect. Chime in.